Tubesky, what's the word, man? It's your boy Dante, aka Dizzy the John. We back here. Well, this is not my first video. I had made some other videos, but God said this was supposed to be the first one. So technically, this will be my first video posted, but not recorded. Anyways, I'm chatting, but yeah, man. I haven't been on YouTube for some time now. Maybe like 2019 was the last time I posted a video. Yeah, a lot has changed with me, man. A lot of stuff has changed, bro. Biggest thing is that, man, I gave my life to God, bro. I got saved. Yeah, I got saved back in 2023, man. No, I'm bugging, bro. I got saved back in 2022, the end of April. Man, there's just so much stuff has happened since I've been on the channel last, bro. So, yeah, this is my testimony, yo. I've always been someone that knew of God. I was raised like not in the church, like I wasn't a church baby, if that makes sense. But like my family went to church. We would go on Sundays. I'm not sure how often we went when I was a kid, but I do remember going. I used to go to a Baptist church back when I lived in New York. It was almost every Sunday we went. It was me, my mom, my aunt, and my two cousins. And yeah, I would just fall asleep basically every time. So, yeah, fast forward, I got a little bit older. I was around like 15 years old, and I was like, yeah, I want to get back to going to church. Ended up going on my own, and then I saw this girl that I think she was on the choir team. I don't know, but she was pretty. So that was the reason why I kept going. It stopped for God, basically, which is a common theme for me. You'll hear as the story goes on. I ended up just dropping God for women, unfortunately. That didn't last long. After that, I stopped going to church from, from like 15 up until maybe like 18, 19. I didn't start going to church again on my own. But through that time and just the period of my life, I just knew I never fit in. And I was always trying my hardest to fit in. I have a sister. We grew up together, but then I think maybe when I was around like 9 or 10, she started living with her mom, and I started living with my mom. So we had the same dad. So I would go to my dad's on the weekend, but she wouldn't always be there. So it was kind of like I became like the only child, and I guess I took that hard. Plus, I moved a lot and stuff like that. So yeah, it's crazy. And it feels crazy sharing my life, bro. I haven't been on social media and doing this in a minute, but glory be to God, man. So yeah, I was always in like the wrong crowd, doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing, always doing something I wasn't supposed to be. I was always getting in trouble, something like it made no sense, bro. And that was just due to me wanting to fit in, wanting to be around people my age, wanting to be liked, fear of abandonment, like all these things that I didn't know what it was at the time, but I was just trying to get people in my presence, if that makes sense. It didn't matter what the company was, and I just thought it was cool to be bad as well. So I just didn't have that proper guidance or wisdom in that sense. During high school, towards my senior year, man, the devil tried to take my life twice, bro. Twice in the beginning of my senior year, bro. So first, again, me being like in the wrong crowd, ended up trying, like it was trending at that time, end of 2016. Xanax was like trending a lot in my school, or just in general. I know on social media and stuff like that. Wanted to be cool. Ended up buying some. I bought two. Ended up I don't remember what happened after I took two, but supposedly I ended up like hitting my plug back up. Smoked with him. Then asked for two more. Took those two more. And this is all during school. Like makes no sense. Took two more. Don't even remember what happened after that. Like I remember I had government, and then I had a trigonometry test. All I remember was sitting down in government. The bell rang. I remember that. Got up, went to go walk to the other side of the school to go to trigonometry. I remember I sat down. I had a test. It don't make sense, but I had a test. Wrote down like my name, and I did the first answer choice, and bro, I was gone. I remember the bell rang again. I was just getting ready to go home. Teacher asked if I was good. I shook my head. Then I fell, knocked over a mad desk. I blacked out, and then I woke up at the crib. So yeah, that was insane. But come to find out, my mom had told me like the doctor said if I took one more Xan, like I would have been done. I would have overdosed. So I'm grateful that God kept me through that. Very stupid. Then a month later, bro, getting my life back together, whoop de whoop. Mind you, I'm only 16 at the time, bro. I was borrowing my friend's bike to like go to school, to work and stuff like that. And I remember I was running late as usual, running late, going to work, man. And I was cutting through the parking lot, bro, because it was easier to get to the I would have to pass the parking lot first to get to the store, or I would have to like go all the way around the block. So I was just like, let me just cut through the parking lot. Cutting through the parking lot, I see this open space, like an open parking spot. There was a car here, and then an open spot right here. So I cut through. As I cut through the parking spot, a car T-boned me, and I flipped, hit the car, boom, 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 cracked the windshield. It was crazy. Flipped over the car. Yeah, that was wild too. Thank God I didn't die from that. Minor injuries, like scraped up my face. I had shattered, well, my phone was shattered, bro. Broke the bike, obviously. I had crutches for like 2, 3 days, but it wasn't nothing serious. So again, thankful that God kept me. I felt like I had a lot of fake friends in high school, and I just knew that I was ready for something new, bro. Like I knew I didn't want to be in school. I was having like a just a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do in life after high school, but I ended up graduating again by the grace of God, bro. GPA was buns, bro. I graduated with a 1.8, but I don't even know how, bro. Never even went to summer school. It was crazy. But ended up towards the end of the year, my mom was just like, you can either stay with your dad or we're gonna move to North Carolina. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to North Carolina. I was able to go to Atlanta for a little bit. I liked it from what I saw, so I was like, yeah, let's just go to Atlanta. Told my mom, let's move, convinced her. We ended up moving to Atlanta in August of 2017. And I was like, bet, like I'm about to be a new version of myself. Like everything about to be different. And I say to an extent it was like I was really working on, like I knew I always wanted to be my own boss. So I was just figuring out like how to be a millionaire. I was reading books. I was watching YouTube videos, creating habits and routines that millionaires had, that millionaires had. And I was just like, bro, like I'm determined. I'm finna be something. Like that was my mindset. Nothing would come to me when it came to that $1 million idea. Like I had the habits, I had the routine and everything, going to the gym and stuff, but never had the idea, never came to me. I did, and that's because I didn't know myself. During that time, for whatever reason, those 2 years I was in Atlanta, I had like no friends, bro. It was impossible for me to make friends. It was crazy. I probably made friends with like 5 people, which were really like acquaintances for real. So yeah, I really had no friends out there. Ended up going through like a deep depression. I ended up going to college. Long story short, I had to like work 2 jobs because the car I had was horrible. I bought a lemon. Yeah, life was horrible. I ain't gonna lie. I was always broke, always in the crib, couldn't do nothing. Like it was hard life. I ain't gonna lie. From 17 and a half to I say 19 and a half. Yeah, life was hard, especially at that young age. So yeah, so since I was working 2 jobs, I really didn't have a lot of time and energy to put into my homework for college. Ended up, I got like 3 Fs my first semester. I was like, bro, I'm finna just put this on pause until I figure out what I want to do in life. Took that pause, was working jobs back to back to back to back, bro. Like it was ridiculous, bro. I probably had 6 jobs within the first 5 months of 2019. Like that was crazy, bro. And again, still like not knowing what I'm gonna do. But I ended up meeting like my god cousin out there because I found out, he lives out in Atlanta. So we would go to like the clubs, and then he took me to the church like the next day. And we was doing that for like a little while, and I was like, dang, like this don't feel right. Going to the club and then going to church like the next day kind of feel like wicked. So I ended up like going on my own still, not really going to the club with my cousin and notes and stuff like that, going to Bible study. And yeah, man, then I met this girl. Yeah, that girl messed up my life. I ain't gonna lie. Shorty, like I ain't finna get into it, but long story short, Shorty had like a whole nother girlfriend in another state. The whole time we was talking, she finessed me crazy. But yeah, we was talking for like 3 months. During that 3 months, I ended up falling off with God. Not really going to church anymore. And when she was out the picture, started going back up to church, started reading my Bible more, starting to listen to like more gospel music and stuff like that. That's when that was like the real start of like my relationship with God. And through that time, like I say that was probably again maybe like April or May of 2019. That's when I started doing like getting closer to God. And I say through those like probably like a month or two, I was like, bro, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with money. Like, everything is just. I hated being in Atlanta. Like, it was a miserable time there for me. So I was just trying to figure out what I was gonna do in my life, and God put it on my heart, man. Join the military. I was like, ain't no way, bro. No, bro. Like, I despised it, bro. In high school, if you would have asked me, I would have been like, no, I'm never joining the military. That's actually what I said because one of my coaches in school, she was like, have you thought about joining the military? I was like, no, like, bro, I would never do that. That's bizarre. That's wicked works. Like, never, bro. And long story short, ended up joining the military. Crazy which branch I chose too. Bro, very, very dumb. It was like real simple too. I was trying to figure out what branch I wanted to do. It was either Air Force or Navy. And I was like, oh, I've been on a cruise ship. I like water. And they travel too the most. So I was like, let me just join the Navy. Ended up joining the Navy. Made that, bro. It was like an overnight decision, bro. Went to next, watched like a whole bunch of videos on YouTube throughout the whole night, and then ended up going to the recruiting office. Didn't even tell nobody. Went to the recruiting office, signed up for the ASVAB and everything like that. And I told my mom after I signed up, and she was sad and hurt, but she respected my decision, and I knew that was gonna be like the jump start to a new life. So I was excited. Ended up joining the Navy. I went through boot camp. Boot camp was good, bro. I became like a whole new person. I became more like assertive. I was always that person that was shy, couldn't speak up for myself, this, that, and the third. But I knew like once I got to the Navy, like I had to be somebody different. I had to be somebody that would stand up for himself and be, I guess, a leader. That is who I always wanted to be, was a leader. And I knew that's what God placed inside of me, was to be a leader. So yeah, man. So when I was in boot camp, I ended up just I was what was it? I was the A Rock. A Rock is like the person that sings. I could low key sing. And then they were second in command of the RPOC. RPOC was like in charge of like the whole division. And the division is like a whole bunch of people basically. Like there was 100 cadets were called a division. So in that division, there's a RPOC, A Rock, and then a MA. So the RPOC is in charge of everyone, and then A Rock is like second in command. So that was me. I did it for a little minute, and then I ended up losing my voice. I got fired because, not losing my voice. I ended up getting my wisdom teeth taken out, and then they fired me. So, but I still like had that authority throughout the boot camp, and yeah, I did my best, bro. I pushed myself. I studied for the tests that I needed to. I passed all my tests. I never got ASMO, which is like getting set back in boot camp. I did everything like I needed to. Ended up getting stationed in Chicago for like 2 months. I was out there, and it was crazy. Like I said, I was with God in boot camp, and then bro, that same bro, because I kept peeping, like girls were staring at me when I was in boot camp. So I was like, oh, that boy started to glow up, because I used to be fat. When I got to Atlanta, I got fat like OD. It was bad. Plus, I wasn't like, to me, like I wasn't that like attractive in high school, so I really wasn't pulling girls for real. Plus, again, I was just shy. I had no game. Like it was whatever. But that's not the point. Anyways, actually, it kind of is. But yeah, so I noticed girls were just staring at me like this is new to me. Whoopty whoop. And yeah, bro, I folded, bro. As soon as I got out of the boot camp, this one girl that I was eyeing in boot camp, we ended up just started talking. And from that moment on, I fell off with God, bro. I fell off real bad. I just got caught up in that. I guess it was because the Navy provided to my knowledge like a college experience. That's all. That's like I never liked school, but if I went to college, I just wanted a college experience, and I feel like the Navy gave me that. So I was on my own. I had my own room I could go to. I had my own money. I had a way of getting around. Like I was doing my own thing. So I was like, I was living life. I thought I had it all. So I'm talking to mad girls, not mad girls at that moment. I was talking to this girl, we was in fornication and things like that. Then we fell off, Ended up finding a new girl. We was talking for a little minute. I was trying to make her my girl. I kind of messed things up, but she did as well. And we got stationed. Well, this is fast forward. We got stationed into San Diego. That's where I was for like the remainder of the time. So this is now the beginning of 2020, before COVID started. Talking to this girl. Yeah, I was trying to make her my girl. Things just didn't work out. Found out she slept with one of my friends in the friend group we had. So I was like, bro, that just set me on like this whole rampage, I guess, into like sex and stuff like that. That's when I really started talking to a lot of girls. Um, and yeah, it was just petty things. Ended up going on deployment again, talking to this girl that I always, like I said, I always wanted to talk to, but I just never had the time to. And plus, she lived in New York, and I was in Cali. But I was like, yo, let me just see, because if I come back, like I'm finna make this work. So DM'd her, we hit it off, we was talking, chopping it up every single day. Everything was cool, bro. She was a vibe. Ended up going on deployment, and yeah, fast forward, it was just too hard between us. So it was just a little bit too hard for her to like wait on me, because all we did was just talk on Facebook Messenger. And then once in a blue moon, whenever I pulled in, which was rarely because of COVID, we would talk on the phone. So it was really hard on her. So I just told her like, look, let's put this on pause when I get back. You know what I'm saying? Which was dumb. I'm on deployment dealing with anxiety. This is the first time I started having like suicidal thoughts. I have depression again. Like, bro, we was just going through it. Like we did the second longest deployment in history since Vietnam. That was 1950, whatever, bro. Like that's a long time, bro. We did 327 days, bro. Insane works, bro. When Trump, that was back when Trump was still president. So he kept like extending us and extending us because we were one of the only ships that didn't have COVID. So yeah, life was miserable, bro. We left in April. I ran out of storage. I had to delete some stuff. But yeah, I was just going through a lot at that time mentally. Like my biggest battle my whole life has always been mental, bro. Like, that's what I was dealing with. I was just struggling to like keep up with God and read my Bible and stuff like that because again, I was still dealing with like people pleasing and trying to fit in and stuff like that. So I was trying to be cool, but I didn't think God was cool, or I didn't feel like they would accept me if I was like always talking about God and stuff like that. So I was like reading my Bible in secret, but then still living like a double life. And then whenever we pulled in, because I was feeling away and because I was so like depressed and stuff like that, I was drinking. Like they had beer, like we would pull in. This is all like we never got to explore like wherever we pulled in. We pull in, let's say like we pulled into Hawaii. Or no, we pulled into Bahrain. We pulled into the pier. They had a tent, a table, and some chairs and some beer. Like that's it. And then we could play our own music on speakers. Like that was it, bro. So I was like, bro, I'm finna drink. Like there's no way I'm not drinking. So I was drinking every time we pulled in. It was only 4 times, but still I was like drinking every time we pulled in because I was like, bro, I need an escape. Like this deployment is crazy right now. So um, yeah, I just still wasn't locking in with God. Then I really fell off once we finally got back. So we left April 2020. Yeah, we left April 2020. We didn't get back until February, the end of February in 2021. So that's almost a whole year, bro. Ended up getting back, made some friends. We had like this big friend group. It was like 13 of us, which was stupid. Shouldn't even have had a friend group that big. Because we ended up like forming little cliques and stuff like that, and people were just on their own stuff. So it just kind of got messy in my opinion. But yeah, we was in the club from the day we got back, bro. That same weekend, we was in the club the whole year, all of 2021, bro. And to backtrack, the girl I was talking to, one that I said like let's put things on hold. I was getting back, and I was like, yo, like I'm back. Like, what's the word? Let me know what's up. So I was like, yo, I'm finna fly to New York. I'm finna come see you. I'm finna see what's the word. She violated, uh, and bro, from that moment, like it changed me crazy. Like I was just so tired of like going through heartbreaks and stuff like that, and just being done dirty. I ain't finna get into all the details, but yeah, that was my last straw. I told myself like, yo, if this don't work out, I'm finna be a whole like bad. Like I'm finna hurt all these females, and it was crazy because like I can like I genuinely say this, bro. I hated women like with all my heart, bro. Cause I was like that nice guy, but I was always like finding the wrong women. So I was like, bro, it seems like all these women like want is guys that don't care about them. So I'm finna be that. And that's exactly what I became, bro. So I hated women. I became like nonchalant. I taught myself how to be nonchalant. I was like, bro, it's crazy. I feel like it's OD saying this, but like I would watch YouTube videos on like how to what's it called? Oh, I was watching YouTube videos on them alpha male videos, red pill videos. Like I was watching those every bro. I was studying like for real, bro. I had to like I was so determined to erase the old me. I was like, bro, that nice version of me is dead. Like that was the vibes I was on. So I just became something that women would love but hate at the same time. And it worked. I thought it was cool. Like the friends I was with, we always had like girls in rotation and stuff like that, and just always going to the club. And like looking back at it, it wasn't good. But during that time, I thought like I thought I was lit. Like I thought I was living life. I thought I had everything in the palm of my hand, but I really didn't. Because after some time, like deep down in my heart, bro, I felt empty. Every time I had sex with a girl or did something sexual with a girl, my heart was like empty. I just felt like, bro, what am I doing? I still don't feel fulfilled. I was like, bro, I just need a girlfriend. Like maybe that's gonna solve the king or like solve my problem. And I forgot about God at this point, so I wasn't really thinking of that as a factor. But along the lines of like me doing that in 2021, I remember when I was on the Navy base, somebody stopped me and my friend and they was like, "Yo, you believe in God?" Like da, da, da. He was just talking about Jesus, and I was like, "Dang, that's crazy." And I was listening to him because obviously I used to be a follower of Christ, but now I'm not. So I was like, "Yo, this is actually fire." I listened, but I didn't really. It stuck in my heart, low key or high key. It stuck in my mind and my heart. So, but I still kept doing what I was doing. And after like, I say like 8 months of doing that, just bro, this was, I promise you, this was my routine every weekend, bro. Friday, Saturday club, Sunday, we hit brunch and mimosas and maybe a day party. And, still talking to girls throughout the week and, work. So that's what we did all week long, every single week, bro. It was not like nothing changed, bro. The whole year from when we got back, like I do not like playing around when I say that, bro. Like it was factual. So I say about like 7, 8 months in, I'm like, bro, like I'm tired of doing this every single weekend, bro. Like I'm bored of going to the club. I'm seeing the same people at the club every single weekend, bro. I'm like, bro, at this point, I should know everybody's name because, bro, I see y'all every week. It's crazy, bro. So I'm asking my friend, like, yo, y'all not tired of going to the club, bro? I'm tired of going to the club. Let's do something adventurous. Let's do something fun, bro. We in Cali. Like, none of us has ever been in Cali. We could do stuff. We could do road trips. Like, let's have fun. It was like, nah, I'm in the club. So I just started distancing myself. And I was like, yo, I'm finna go on a healing journey. And ended up doing that. Just trying to talk with my parents, just rekindle things, talk to people that, I fell out with. It was just a whole like 180 I was trying to do. And every time I do that, bro, a girl comes around and it'd be a bad one, bro. Like it'd be something that like it'd be one of the worst experiences, but like I learned a lot through that at the same time. So doing that, I started going to therapy. First time ever. Stopped rejecting therapy. Finally did it. And I ended up meeting my ex that same month, bro. I went on my healing journey. At the end of that month, that's when I met my ex, and that was by far like the worst relationship I ever had in my life. The most toxic, chaotic, disastrous, bro. It was crazy. Like through that, like I met her, I saw so many red flags, but I ended up staying because of that. I guess still like fear of abandonment, codependency, all that stuff, bro. Like all that stuff really matters. Like it's important to know yourself so that you know your triggers and like your characteristic traits based off how you grew up and stuff like that. It's very important to know yourself, bro. But I didn't really know that at the time, so it was like a trauma bond. She was just very, I don't know, bro. The best way I could describe her is like she was sent from the devil, bro. Like I can't even lie. Like that woman was sent in my life to kill me, bro. For real, for real. Because, bro, this woman never really spoke life into me. I felt like she was always like just speaking like death over me. I don't know how to explain it, bro. And I feel like she put a spell on me too. I remember one time we was watching a TikTok video on her phone, and the video was like, "Oh, spray this spray if you got your man, like you got your crush coming over and you really want him to, or you're not sure if he's gonna like you or something like that. Uh, spray the spray, he's gonna fall in love with you." And we was watching the video. I was like, "Yo, that's kind of crazy." In my head, I was like, "Yo, that's kind of crazy." And she was like, "Oh, I did that to you." Bro, I snapped and I was just yelling at her like, "Bro, I don't play around like that." Da, da, da. Like she was like, "No, I was just playing. Like I didn't do that. I was just playing." Da, da, da. And I still stayed, bro. It's crazy, but yeah, bro. And then finding out now, she got like a witch doctor and all that stuff, bro. A witch doctor is like, I guess, a person that be doing like spells and witchcraft and voodoo, all that stuff, bro. Like she got that. So I was like, bro, that's crazy. I'm most certain she did a spell on me so that I would stay with her because, bro, we broke up. And it wasn't, she never broke up with me. I always broke up with her and we get back together. Bro, it was like 6, 7 times, bro. We got back together and broke up. And mind you, this was only like 7 months, but it felt like we was together for like 3 years, bro. I was miserable, bro. Like I even contemplated suicide, bro, because like I was trying to figure out because at that time, like I didn't get the vaccine, so I was getting kicked out of the military. And um, during that time, I thought I was getting out way sooner than I actually did. So we was trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do for work because, bro, I'm gonna have no job. I'm gonna be out in Cali. I have no crib. Like it was crazy. So I was just like stressing. She was just never helping me, bro. She was like, "You need to figure out your purpose. Why don't you know your purpose? This, that, and the third." It was just always something about purpose. So I remember just thinking to myself at night one time, bro. I remember it was probably like February in 2022. I was just laying down in bed, bro, and I was like, dang, maybe I don't have no purpose. And this was just like now, like seeing it now from a spiritual sense, that was the devil just planting like seeds of doubt and meaninglessness in my mind, like unworthiness. I'm having all these seeds planted in my mind, bro. So I was like, man, like maybe I don't have a purpose. Maybe I'm not great enough to do anything. Maybe I'm not creative enough. And these are the things that she was telling me too. So I was just pondering on those things. I was like, maybe I'm not able to be an entrepreneur, or maybe I'm just gonna be somebody that's homeless or stuck in my mom's crib. Like I was thinking of all these things, bro, and I'm already like hard on myself as it is, bro. So I keep thinking about these thoughts, and I was like, bro, maybe the world would just be better off without me, bro. Like maybe, maybe that's the thing. So I ended up I was scared to do it 100%. At that time, I was like, bro, if I die, like, I'm probably gonna go to hell, but maybe God will excuse it. I don't know, bro. So I did it in like a safe way, I guess. No, and the only thing that would come to mind was like, bro, I don't really have no pills in my crib, but I got melatonin. So like, bro, I took like at least 10 to 15 of them Jones, bro. It wasn't the gummies, it was like the actual pill. Bro, I took like 10 to 15 of them. When I say I knocked out in like 10 minutes, I was gone. And I woke up the next day. I was like, oh, I ain't doing that again. But thank you, God, for real. Like again, God kept me, bro. Yeah, it was just a lot. Like that girl, I just felt like she was very demonic, bro. Like I'm so glad that I was able to just separate myself from that. Cause I was being like I felt like she was separating me from my friends, my family. Like I was willing, it was getting bad to where like I was distancing myself from my mom because she was trying to help me and like tell me like, yo, this girl is not it. You need to walk away from this. But I felt like she was just trying to like I was just under a lot of like manipulation and stuff like that. Plus, this was like my first real relationship. But yeah, bro, I've just been someone that was so lost, trying to find God, bro, trying to